Hello and welcome back. I'm George Crump, Chief Steward at Storage Switzerland. This is part 3 of Making Sense of Automated Tiering, sponsored by F5. So the first things we've discussed so far is, of course, some background on us. We defined what automated tiering was, and we went over some how and where automated tiering is being implemented. One of those is file virtualization, so we'd like to get into some details on that, and then wrap up with a summary of what we've talked about. So again, it just form as a quick review. File virtualization can be done on an appliance that sits in between the NAS and the users, and then can automatically move data between different types of tiers. So here in the picture you see solid state disk, fiber channel, SATA, and in this example, cloud storage. So it can automatically move up and down between those tiers depending on a variety of parameters that the user can set. So let's talk about some specific examples. One of the big things that I talked about in the last video was that this is not a global file system, that one of the things that this can do is migrate across manufacturers' tiers of storage and just the manufacturer themselves. So in this case, you can see here I've got two NAS heads and a dedupe appliance, and I'm actually moving data between the three boxes as well as up and down tiers. So in this case I can move up to solid state disk for very active data. I can move down to a SATA based NAS for semi-active data, and then as data becomes dormant and I want to move it out of the way in a broader sense, I can move it to a deduplication appliance or a mate appliance or anything like that. What that gives me it provides a high capacity archive for unchanging inactive data, and then probably more importantly, these files now can be removed from the backup window. They more than likely will be very well protected as they're on fiber, solid state disk, and the SATA tier. You've got them multiple times copied off to tape and disk. You can move them over to the dedupe appliance, maybe replicate that dedupe appliance, and then never really back that up again. The net effect is you could reduce your backup window just from a raw data standpoint by, in some cases, as much as 60 or 70%. So it could be very interesting. We can also migrate across totally different types of storage. So in this example, I'm using a cloud gateway with cloud storage, where a file virtualization appliance, instead of migrating in that example to dedupe, moves directly to a cloud-hosted storage facility through their cloud gateway. Most cloud gateways shows up as a NAS via either a CIFS or NFS. File virtualization could integrate into that. We even believe that in the future, file virtualization products will actually implement the cloud APIs directly into their own hardware, and you won't even need the gateway. So very interesting things there, and again, another way to leverage this sort of technology. Next up is, let's talk about using file virtualization for NAS consolidation. So think about that. You've got all these different tiers of NAS and you want to migrate to one big NAS. How do you get the data over there? How do you avoid a massive reconfiguration? Do you move all the data and throw out all these tiers of storage, or do you just be selective about it? And really, do you need one big new NAS? How about a mid-tier NAS that can leverage SSD and SATA? So what file virtualization can do is kind of open up some of these questions and options for you. So an example we have here is instead of migrating to a single large NAS, is migrating to a single mid-range NAS that has multiple tiers that can be leveraged. Again, SSD, fiber, SATA, and possibly cloud or dedupe storage. And again, it really takes care of the data movement issues for you automatically. The appliance can be put in place, and you select policies, and policies will move that data, and it's transparent to the users. They don't need to have to know when their data got moved to the new NAS. No reconfiguration is necessary. You just plug in the new NAS, no changes to the user environment, everything goes pretty smoothly. And then you can be selective about which data gets migrated. You can migrate all of it if you want to. You can just migrate the active data. You can really do that. And so in actuality, you may not need one big new NAS. You might just need a mid-range NAS with multiple tiers of storage. So that becomes very beneficial. And this mid-range NAS with a little SSD can outperform a higher-end NAS. It makes for a smaller NAS capacity investment. Again, allows you to migrate in real time, so totally transparent. No reconfiguration to your hundreds, if not thousands, of users. And again, you can set it up so only active data gets migrated. Why move all the old stuff to a new box? Let it stay at that existing tier. Exception being if you're going to get rid of those old NASs, then you can migrate it, say, directly to SATA or something like that. But you have control. You can set policies and let the box automatically do the work for you. So it becomes a very cost-effective way when you're looking to refresh your NAS storage. Another thing that comes up often is using file virtualization to reduce the cost of primary storage. Let's say you already have that NAS investment, and it could be across multiple tiers of storage. This allows you to migrate to, again, to a small fast NAS and then archive and to an archive NAS with file virtualization. So we still got our, in the middle there, we've got our three NASs. They're probably different tiers of quality and service and types of storage on it. Well, with file virtualization, we can say, okay, let's move all the very active data to a NAS with an SSD front end to it, and then let's archive all the inactive data to a SATA-based NAS or maybe a NAS with deduplication capabilities, so we can really cut the cost on how much we're storing in that primary tier. And then again, once again, if we really wanted to, we could even come up with a deep archive and move all the data off to a cloud storage device. So that's how that works. Again, that mid-tier NAS with little SSD, we've seen them outperform higher-end NASs. And this allows you to do incremental upgrades. You can add these tiers as you need. If you have plenty of capacity and just need performance, you can add the SSD NAS combination and be in very good shape. Or conversely, if you have plenty of performance and just need more capacity, need to free up primary storage, you can go out and buy a archive-based NAS or deduplication-based NAS and move the data the other direction. But the key thing is you have the flexibility. Finally, in closing, automating tiering, I believe now, is a storage necessity. Storage tiering is now a fundamental architecture, and manual data movement is just inadequate. You don't have the time for it anymore. IT administrators are just stretched too thin. There's too many tiers of storage. It's the only logical way to solve this problem. Cache and persistent cache can improve performance as a type of automated tiering with minimal high-speed storage investment. But then file virtualization can also increase performance by leveraging SSD. But it also can decrease cost by archiving to a value storage or a cloud-based type of device. Maybe more importantly, it can reduce backups and it really addresses the broader IT file management burden. Finally, it can be incrementally applied. It's not a put this huge investment in. You can start, as I said earlier, with just the SATA-based storage and then move up to SSD or the other way around. Also, caching and file virtualization, they're not mutually exclusive. They can be implemented together. If there's something about the caching system, as an example, that could still be the front end and then work its way down and be managed through the file virtualization products. So a combination might still be the best bet in total. So that wraps up our presentation for today. Thank you very much for tuning in for these 3 parts. If you have any questions at all, please email us at info@storage-switzerland.com. And there's other very helpful material on our website at www.storageswitzerland.com. Again, I'm George Crump. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have a great day.